There is one last point that I'd like to
Yes.
drive home for projectors,
Absolutely.
and that is recognition is really valuable for us. I call it sometimes our lifeblood. It provides energy for taking action for projects and things that we're invited into, but it is not related to our self-value.
Yes.
We need to stand in our own self-value, regardless of whether we're being recognized or invited. And it's sadly easy for projectors, especially the way a lot of projector material is written and explained, that if we're not getting recognition and invitation, then there's something wrong. And we tend to take it personally. It's like, oh, I'm not being recognized. Maybe I don't, I'm not valuable. I don't have anything to say. I'm not helpful. Otherwise I'd be being recognized. And we want to distinguish those two as not being related. You're not dependent on external recognition from others in order to feel good about yourself. It's an inside job. You need to stand strong in who you are and feel good about yourself. And I've come to the point where, if I'm not being recognized, like if I did something great in the yard and my partner goes, oh yeah, that looks nice. I go, Evelyn, good job. That looks awesome. Right? You did an amazing job. I recognize myself. If I'm not getting it enough from the outside, I do it for me.
That's a really great point, and I love the idea of ending on that note. But I think it's also true that applies to everyone, because if we don't recognize our own value just by being, right?
Yes.
Everybody, and we do this thing in society where we hear something bad about that somebody did something that we don't agree with, and so now we've negated their value as a human being, and we can't like that person. We have to unfollow them, whatever it is. So we tend to. I have a T-shirt from that I got at the Legacy Museum it's the legacy of slavery, and this is related to the criminal justice thing, but it says it's from Brian Stevenson.
Oh, I love him. Yes. Yes.
And it says each of us is more than the worst thing we've ever done. And I think for all of us, when we can heal our idea that our worth comes from our actions,
right?
And realize that we all have things we're here to learn from, and some of those things are mistakes, right?
Right.
So especially as the third line, when you have that idea that you did something wrong, and so somehow that affects your value. I mean, it's just so not true. And there are many things in my life that I stopped doing because nobody else was recognizing them as valuable, and they were things I really enjoyed. And, and then we're just giving away parts of ourselves. So I think that's a lesson that can apply to any type,
we set the bar for how other people treat us by how we treat ourselves.
Yes.
And it is an inside job. We need to set that bar so that other people see, oh, that's how she needs to be treated. That's how it's appropriate to treat her, because I see how she treats herself. And then you become a beacon and a guide and an example for others to follow as well.